Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox. I was coming today with the top of the blogs, but I decided again, like I did last week, to separate this out. It's a little bit more sensitive in nature, and I just like to keep top of the blogs separate from this so that I don't get demonetized. And it's been working out this way, so I think that we'll continue this while everything is just going on in our crazy world, our crazy nation for sure. So top of the talk, of course, we know, got to talk about the George Floyd case. Is building up to be a case anyway. They did finally arrest the remaining 3 officers that was involved in, his death. 26-year-old J. Alexander Kung, 37-year-old Thomas Lane, and 34-year-old Tu Tao. They also will be charged alongside Derek Chauvin, not with the same charges though. They all will get aiding and abetting charges on second-degree murder and aiding and abetting on second-degree manslaughter. That's second degree now instead of third degree because Derek Chauvin's charges was upgraded to second-degree murder. We were happy to hear that yesterday. But along with that happiness comes some worry that they may have a hard time, proving that. Everybody that you hear, the legal pundits, and even those that are involved in this investigation, that are involved in the prosecution of this, many have said that it is going to be very difficult to find them guilty on that. And it almost feels like they're preparing everybody for a not guilty result, which is going to be unacceptable. I know one thing, if they do not send them to jail, then you think you got rioting and looting and protesting now. They will definitely burn this shit down. It's going to be, everybody's eye is going to be on this case to find out exactly what goes on. And I know that they better make it happen. Definitely for Derek Chauvin. He is the face of that case, if you ask me. Nobody can get that smug look out of their memory, the face that he made as he was snuffing out George Floyd's life. So, yeah, they finally did arrest the other 3 officers. One of them looks black. Kung. I'm not quite sure what he is, what nationality he is. Definitely not white, though. And I was so disappointed when I saw that. Okay, just kind of lets you know that blue comes before black, obviously, and that brotherhood that those police officers have is sometimes very troubling and downright disgusting. That nobody out of those 4 people, nobody saw it in themselves to say, let's not do this, roll them over. Now, they're saying that up in the video, that somebody did say, should we roll him on his side? But of course that did not happen. So I'm sure all of that is going to come up in the case, and that they're going to use whatever that they can to try to get, one or all of them off. But in the meantime, the protesting still goes on in these United States. I'm hoping that by now people realize that there are differences between protesters and looters. All of it is wrapped up together, but definitely the looting is a side effect or a side result from the protesting. Whatever it is that's going on, I'm just kind of sitting by and watching like, oh, this is just what the state of affairs of, of America right now. So looting, rioting, protesting, I hate to see that people are doing it, but I understand why it is happening. And it's because it's just everybody, the anger level of many people in our world today is just at an all-time high. People are home, don't have anything to do. I mean, we've got many parts of our nation where people are unemployed. There is just a general feeling of despair out there, and people are taking it out, the best way that they can, whether that is protesting, rioting, looting, whatever. You will see, though, in the videos that have come out on social media that many of those that are looting are not even black. There's been a specific group of people who are dressed in all black, got ski masks on, gloves. You can't even see the color of their skin, that are breaking into places and looting or just destroying. I just saw a video that an Oakland Mercedes-Benz dealer was broken into, and they set the cars on fire and spray painted them and all of that. And I was just like, nah, I know that ain't black people, you guys. Even with the black people that have been looting, from Target, it's different. It's one thing to be stealing from, a Target, some pillows, some clothes, and, some things within the store. It's a whole nother thing to be breaking into a Mercedes-Benz dealer and destroying $100,000 and $200,000 cars. I think that most black people even then would be like, nah, I'm really not trying to go there. That's just not something that I see. I don't know. I just call it me being biased. But I honestly don't think that. I think black people deep down inside feel like some kind of way that could still come back on them. And, that would be some trouble that they weren't trying to look for, That's why it looks like the people that are completely covered, you can't see any parts of them. I think that is the reason why they aren't black people that's doing it. Yet and still, everything that is going on in our work, in our nation today, it is definitely just the general feel of angst. So I'll just keep on saying that I hate to see all of this going on. Of course, I would love to live in a world where peace always is at the forefront, that people could talk to each other and understand how the other person feels and have some sympathy or empathy for a life that is not the same as ours, but that is not the nation, that is not the world that we live in. So I understand why all of this is happening. And I don't feel any other ways about it. I'm just like, well, maybe once all this is said and done, we can get some change. Okay, just sitting back and looking to see how long these protests are going to go. And then on the end of these protests, we'll just see what happens there. But 6-7 days we going on protests now. This has been the longest that I have ever seen a protest go on in the United States. So we definitely at a corner. We definitely are at a corner where, we can either turn one way or the other. So there's definitely something happening in the United States. I'm just not really sure what that something is just yet. I want you guys out there, though, not to fall for the setup. There's been people walking around, like I said, in these black suits that are defacing buildings, that are breaking windows, that are spray painting things. They have been leaving random bricks in neighborhoods. Been driving around handing out bricks for people that are angry and are in the middle of it, for them to throw and do even more destruction. And then, of course, we, the black people, are going to be blamed for that. So I think many of us need to be aware. And I think that many of us are now because it's on social media. But just to reiterate, use your mind and realize that that is also a setup, okay? And we don't need to be in the middle of that. Fuck, I forgot to get my information on this story. Okay, you guys, I'm just going to go by memory on this story. I don't have any names, and I apologize for that because I have so many notes. You guys will not even believe how many videos and inbox and DMs that people have been sending me back to back in my Instagram, on Twitter. I mean, I get so many messages that it is even hard for me to even watch all of them because it is just constant, everything that's going on. I mean, like, I'm watching just like you guys all are as well. But it's just so much information comes my way every day. It has had my anxiety very high. I try very hard to keep my anxiety in check because I know that is a problem that I have, and not really trying to go full-blown panic attack. But yeah, I get so much information, so much, and all of it is negative. It is hard on your girl, you guys. But so this one story I meant to get information on and I didn't, but I can just tell you, and you guys will know what I'm talking about. There were students that were in a car on the first earlier days of the protest out here in Atlanta. One was I believe was a graduate from Morehouse University, and then the other girl was a student at Spelman. I'm assuming they were boyfriend and girlfriend. They were in the car. They somehow found themselves in the middle of the protest, and the Atlanta police were trying to get them out of their car. Now, of course, you've got these kids in this car. I think they were 21 and 19 years old. They are scared, I'm sure. You know, you've got police that are swarming them, and just all this yelling and confusion of them screaming at them, telling them to get out the car. On top of that, they are busting out the windows. Okay. It was a group of police officers. They've arrested and charged 6 of the men, but it looked like it was more than that. But I guess these are the 6 that did indeed come in contact with the 2 kids. But they dragged the girl out of the car, threw her on the ground. Okay, she hit her face on the ground, tased the boy that was in the car, where everybody is just really just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. The girl just keeps on saying, like, what is going on? Okay, they tased the boy. Somehow in the melee, they had broken his wrist. He ended up having to get 24 stitches. I mean, they fucked these kids up. Okay, these kids that were not doing anything. Now, you know, fine. The emotions was heightened. The police have been working, you know, nonstop trying to deal with the protesters and all of that. But I don't understand why nowhere along all of that was happening, nobody realized that these 2 kids were not a threat. You know, so this is the whole thing that we are trying to get people to understand about police brutality, police taking advantage of the power that they have, and using it in situations where it's not called for. You know, this is like a prime example. Of course, these kids didn't die, but it still was caught on video, and, you know, now we've got lawyers involved, and like I said, the police were fired and charged, and, you know, the DA Howard said that, you know, they're going to prosecute those guys, and these guys, for the most part, were at least 10-year on up, you know, police officers or veterans on the police force, you know, have been there 10, 20, 30 years. I think one of them was very close to retirement and has completely blown their career just doing shit like this. Yeah. It's very tiresome to have to watch those kind of things. I just keep on thinking about my son and my daughter, who were 21 and 19 years old, interestingly enough. If they were caught in that situation, how pissed I would be as a parent, you know, that they were treated this way. That is frustrating, and that does not help what is going on in this fight. So those police officers lost their head for a minute or whatever. You know, the chief said that they were good guys and she's worked with them for a long time. And, you know, we got all that. Okay. But it's very clear that the police forces across this nation need to have some sort of training. There's actually some social media suggestions going around on ways that the police departments can be trained on de-escalation and, you know, the proper protocols to take when, you know, you guys are trying to take over a situation where a person is about to be under arrest, you know, or just trying to find out what the situation is before it escalates all the way to the point where you're killing them for nothing. I can feel myself, like my heart is beating so fast. These top of the blogs well, this isn't even top of the blogs, but these videos have not been fun to do, you guys. I can promise you that. Right before I came out to the car to do this video, the news was just talking about the Ahmaud Arbery case and how they're in court today. Travis McMichael and Gregory McMichael are in the actual courtroom. The guy, Bryant, what's his name? William Bryant, he decided not to come. But we finally get some more information on that fateful day that Ahmaud Arbery was shot. And they said that he was running and that William Bryant guy was chasing after him and had actually hit him with his truck at some point. Hit him hard enough that the truck actually had a dent in it. I don't know how Ahmaud Arbery was still able to get up and run. It probably was because his adrenaline was so high. But yeah, they say that they had chased him down, hit him. He still was running. And then, of course, that was when the struggle happened and he was shot. And they're saying that there was a witness that said that they could hear Travis, after he shot him, he stood over him and said something and called him a fucking nigga, like die fucking nigga, something like that. And they're also saying that they're saying that they didn't, of course, see that, you know, they didn't have any proof that he had stolen anything, but there was just a gut feeling that he had. You guys, it's so tiring being a Black person, and yet I still love being my Black self. But I tell you, you would feel like we had done something completely wrong. You just feel in your gut because I'm jogging down the street that I've done something wrong. It sounds so crazy, you know, but it's just, I mean, that's just the mentality of some people. It's craziness. Very, very frustrating. So anyway, they're in court today. I don't know exactly what comes out of the, out of court today, what exactly is going to happen. This is not the full-blown case, obviously. So I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week. But yeah, they are in court today. And then lastly, you guys, I want to talk about the transgender that was attacked in Minneapolis, Ayanna Dior. They say that she was beaten very badly after a fender bender. Not really sure on the particulars on the fender bender, but I guess she was in the gas station, and after it happened, she was jumped by a mob. I'm sure once they realized that she was transgendered, that probably angered even more people, and they beat her terribly. I haven't seen the video. That is never something that I want to see. I don't like people sending me videos of, you know, people drowning and, you know, people getting beat up. And, you know, I still can't even believe I watched that George Floyd video. But like those kind of things really make me almost physically ill. Like I don't like to see that. So I haven't seen that. But just, of course, the LGBTQ community is very upset about what has happened. Of course, it hasn't been talked about too much on the news. I've seen it a little bit on the, on the social media, but it's starting to pick up some steam. But just as a person, I don't understand how people can just beat somebody. A mob of people can beat someone up. You know, the girl could have died. Thank goodness that she didn't. But I just don't know about the mentality of people who have just not even the basic humanity inside of them to not do these things. It's just, I will never understand it. She's fine. Not fine, but she will be fine. At least physically, she'll be fine. And I don't know if there were any charges pressed or if anything has happened that's come out of that. But you know, these transgendered men and women that have been attacked, I think they said in 2019, 26 transgenders were killed. I don't remember hearing about any of those stories really on the news. So, they're just trying to bring more awareness about it. Of course, I hope that she does better. And, I don't know how it will come about, but, those people that did beat her up, I'm hoping that there's some sort of justice, because you just can't go around beating people, jumping people and just mobbing them for. Anyway, you guys, that's pretty much it I think that's going to be it that we talk about on my Let's Talk About It today. I think the rest of the things that I have to talk about are not as sensitive and that I can actually talk about it in my regular top of the blog. So I am going to get off of here. You guys let me know what you think about all the things that we talked about today. And I'll get this edited and up to you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.